What's up, you guys? This is Friggin' Nerd Mario from Friggin' Nerds Media, bringing you guys the nerdy news you guys care about. And today we're coming at you with a movie review today for Matthew Vaughn's Argylle, starring Sam Rockwell, Bryce Dallas Howard, Henry Cavill, and many, many more in this film. This is another spy thriller for Matthew Vaughn. Super exciting. Those who don't know, Matthew Vaughn's the guy behind the Kingsman series, and those movies are near and dear to my heart. Not too much the Kingsman. I wasn't that big of a fan of it. Kingsman 2 has fun parts, but Kingsman 1 is very fun. But that whole universe is just very, very, very fun. And we'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the review. We'll go a little spoiler free, then we'll go into some spoilers for this film. I love this film. I think this was a lot of fun. Looking at it at face value, we did a trailer reaction to it, which you guys can find somewhere over here on the channel. And I was pretty excited about it, knowing it's a Matthew Vaughn flick. Henry Cavill is as a kind of James Bond character. It's a lot of fun. Kind of a backstory of the story. Bryce Dallas Howard plays a character called Ellie Conway, who is basically an Ian Fleming type writer, where she's writing these spy thrillers about a secret agent, Argylle, who's played by Henry Cavill. Now, let me warn you guys, Henry Cavill is not in this a ton. They really pushed it as Henry Cavill was the star of this film, but it's really Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell. They're kind of the heroes, I guess, of this movie, but they're facing off against Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston is tremendous in this film. He's a villain. Not very often do we see him as a villain. You could maybe argue that in Breaking Bad, Walter White was the villain, but he plays a kind of fun Bond-esque villain. It's really fun. But yeah, so it's all kind of like trying to figure out what's going on. Ellie Conway's novels are kind of coming true. They're like all things that really happen. And we'll kind of talk about a little bit in the spoiler section of it. But so they're trying to kind of find out why people are after her, what's going on with the story, why is it connecting to everything, and who's Argylle? Who is Argylle? So I think it's a lot of fun. We'll talk about scores later on, but I think it's time to get into our spoiler section of the review. So if you haven't seen Argylle yet and hoping to see it, click off right now and come back to us later when you finish the movie, and we'll discuss all the aspects of this film. So spoilers coming in 3, 2, 1, spoilers. All right, so first I'm going to discuss the sort of reaction this movie's been getting from people. I've been watching reviews. I'm watching you guys. I know what you guys are talking about out there. Rotten Tomatoes, as of right now, as I'm recording, it is at a 71% for the audience score. Not bad. The tomato meter is coming in at 34% with 220 reviews. I totally disagree with this. I would say I would want it to be higher. 71, not bad. I would like to see it at maybe hit an 80, close to an 80, maybe like a 78. But who knows? Like I said, this is the opening weekend. It's still got some time to kind of cook. But again, guys, I think this is really good. It's fun. A lot of twists and turns. So some of the biggest twists we'll talk about is, one, the trailer suggested that Argylle's a real person. So we're wondering, what's the parallel of the story itself and then the real life situation. So if there's an Argylle in the book, there's got to be an Argylle in person. So when I first saw the trailer, I was kind of hoping it would be like maybe a Bond actor as a fun cameo, like maybe Daniel Craig, Pierce Brosnan, Timothy Dalton, anybody. But the twist they went with was Bryce Dallas Howard was the actual Argylle. Ellie Conway, who's been writing the books, is writing about her memories, which I thought was a very exciting twist. Probably the biggest twist in the movie. There's quite a few twists. Then we have like the whole aspect of her parents. We meet her mom pretty early in the story, played by Catherine O'Hara, and we're like, okay, she's tremendous, and I think a fun character, and like this a typical mom, just kind of very concerned about her daughter. We find out she's a villain, and we get the reveal of her dad who is Bryan Cranston, the villain of the story, which is one of the biggest twists that really made us all gasp in the theater. And I really thought, like, you know, where are they going to go with this? And I'm like, how are they making it so the parents are the villains? But like, how? Like, why would you turn on your own daughter? Then they hit this whole storyline of like, she got into an accident. She was hypnotized by these people, believing this alternate life. She doesn't have her spy skills anymore. She's kind of a helpless woman just writing these stories, and they're trying to get her to write these stories so they can find out information that she was trying to get on a mission. The book leaves off, she's trying to go to London to try to find this master key with all these IP addresses and whatnot, and when they capture her, they're trying to figure out where the location is, and then through a big adventure of like just of Aiden, played by Sam Rockwell, trying to like kind of drill it out of her with like, you know, certain action aspects and all that. It's very, very simple, but like it made me think of Kingsman, The Golden Circle. Colin Firth's character, Harry Hart, he had amnesia because he got shot in the first one by Samuel L. Jackson's character. And so he comes back in the second, but he has no memory of, you know, who he is, what he can do. He's just like collects butterflies, and he's a very simple guy. But they had to find a way to kind of trigger certain things in his head, like traumatic experiences from his past, to kind of, you know, wake him up and get back Harry so he can, you know, be back with the Kingsman. So that was an aspect of the story I really thought was cool, and a connection. So that had me thinking, how connected is this? Now we're going to go back to October, where Matthew Vaughn actually talked about this, where he wanted these movies to be connected in some way, like the MCU. Let's check it out for a second.
Marv is sort of, you know, Marvel to superheroes we want to be to spies as well. So we've got the Kingsman on the right, I'd say, Argyle's on the left, and then we've got an idea for something in the middle as well. And then you've got these sort of competing franchises in a galaxy that one day might meet.
So with that information and this film finally out, let's talk about the post-credit scene. Post-credit scene has us going to the King's Man, a little pub. And a young man comes up to the bar. He's asking for a certain drink, and says with a twist. And the twist is the bartender gives him a little like box, opens it up. It's a little pistol with a silencer. Like, that's quite the twist. And we find out his name is Argyle. He's the real Argyle. Argyle exists. And before we hit the credits, we do have Bryce Dallas Howard as Ellie at another book signing, and people are asking her questions, and the last person to get up has a big mullet, like a big yellow t-shirt, stands up. It's Henry Cavill with a mullet, and he says, "I bet you have a lot of questions for me." So the big reveal, Argyle, real character, and then we get a title, Argyle Book 1, coming soon. So the Argyle series is going to be a film series. In the movie, there's 5 books. So are we going to do 5 movies, or are we going to keep on building the Argyle story? Are we going to finally get us like Eggsy from Kingsman and Argyle together in a film where we're going to like cross over? Matthew Vaughn's making a really cool like MCU, but a spy extended universe. It sounds like so much fun. And I really hope this film does well, because I want to see this be played out. I think these are fun movies. I know people are very, very critical about these films, which brings me to my last point. I want to talk about some of the negativity this film has been getting so far. A lot of it is like, okay, it's the bad CGI. You know, this is like the story's played out, blah, blah, blah. The same people who complain about CGI loved every single MCU thing that came out last year.
I'll tell you all about it, but first, I have someone here that I'd like you all to meet. This is my son, Scar.
Wow, you're family.
You know what I mean? Like, all those things are just blue screen or green screen monstrosities. Loki aside, Loki looked beautiful. but everyone else is going nuts about these other things. But then you complain about a film like this. Sure, CGI, not the best, but still, you still have some fun story here. It's a fun film. It's just fun. It's a lot of fun to watch. I had so much fun watching this movie, but people will complain like, oh, it's just like this so played out. It's like, it's a fun spy flick. People need to turn off their brains sometimes to go watch a movie. I know everything is in a high pedestal because you got movies like Oppenheimer that people forget like the fun stuff and like don't want to like take it. Like, it's just ridiculous. Now, before we get out of here, let me get into my score of the film. Now listen, movie's great, had a lot of fun with it. Only thing I would change, maybe the length. It's a bit of a long movie, about 2 hours, 20 some odd minutes. Might have cut it down a little bit, could have been beneficial, but that doesn't take away from the enjoyment I had from this film. So I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Loved it. Want to see it again? I want to go see it today. I might go see it again today, man. I had so much fun with this film. I can't say it enough. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think. What do you guys want to see more spy thrillers? That's why I want to know. Are you double down on this extended universe of spies? You know, a lot of fun. So much fun, but you know, hoping to see more. I'm ready to see Henry Cavill as a spy. I talk about him being James Bond. This might be the closest we'll get. Although everyone this week has been suggesting Man from U.N.C.L.E. I still haven't seen it yet, so I obviously have to go see that. Maybe I'll make a video. I'll review Man from U.N.C.L.E. because it's something I definitely have to see eventually. So I can get a little taste of Henry Cavill as James Bond. But who knows? We'll get some more spy thrillers with Henry Cavill. I'm ready for it. But again, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell. It'll let you know when we're doing more videos like this and reviewing more stuff and all of that good stuff. But until next time, guys, stay friggin' nerdy. We'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.